I'm Robert Hicks, Head of Public Relations at the Bob Bullock Texas State History Museum. With me is Steve Kanaly, actor Ray Krebbs, who played Ray Krebbs in the show, as well as a director of several episodes of the show. Steve has graciously loaned a variety of objects, from scripts to actual clothes that he wore during the show, for the exhibit Dallas, Power and Passion in Primetime TV. Steve, tell me, what was it about the character Ray that attracted you initially to this project?
I had a call from an agent. He said, there's a show called Dallas. There's 3 male roles that you would be right for. You could play JR, he's the older brother, Bobby, another younger brother, he's kind of in the oil business, or this cowboy guy. And I'm thinking, I like this Bobby character. He reminds me of somebody that was in Giant. And the show sounds interesting. And I go to the meeting, and there's some young women there that are auditioning for the role of Lucy, and they have scripts. I've never seen a script. I get my hands on the script for the first time, and I'm paging through it rapidly. And here's Ray in the hayloft. Here's Ray flying a helicopter. Here's Ray riding a horse. Here's Ray on this big ranch. And there's all these really great things that are Western in this contemporary setting. And I always wanted to do something like that. I went into the meeting and I said, I came here thinking about Bobby, but I really want to play Ray Krebbs.
And I mean, his character ran the gamut in the show.
Ray was sometimes JR's accomplice. Ray turns out to be very fallible, as a human should be. But my focus for the character was to pay homage to the great hardworking blue-collar guys of the nation. The cowboys and the guys in the factories, and my job was to make Ray somebody you thought you knew, that like he's your friend and you haven't seen him in a long time. And I think I was largely effective doing that, and Lormar was kind enough to let me really sort of tweak this character along the way, and kept the writing within bounds that were reasonable, and I always appreciated that.
As I mentioned, the objects that you've loaned for this exhibit, from boots to chaps, to any stories behind?
You know, I'm a collector, and I'm always latching on to things and sticking them in boxes, and I never know when I might need them. In this case, this was perfect. I was able to access quite a few things for the exhibit, and there's some Western chaps that I had designed for a rodeo episode that we did, a 2-parter. Other pair of chaps that I wore in all the cow scenes whenever we did ranch work. I had beautiful boots and hats while I did the show, and there are several examples of that in the exhibit. The Justin Boot Company is somebody that I did a lot of print work for, and Jim Davis also worked for them. And they supplied me with boots throughout the time we did the show. Ray's hats, you'll see several nice hats in the show. The company still produces hats in Garland, Texas. It's the Resistol Hat Company, not Stetson. People say, is that a Stetson? No, that's a Resistol hat. There's several scripts. I think I have a clapboard that's from the first episode that I directed. There's my director's chair that was made by the Edward H. Bolin Company to celebrate the occasion.
That was a humorous story on the $1,000 ostriches.
Well, whenever Ray was angry, there was a typical writer's thing, or frustrated. They would always have Ray go out, take his shirt off, and chop wood. And I'd be out there trying to be as buff as I could possibly be. That was not easy. and splitting wood, and it would always be with, these incredibly beautiful boots that you shouldn't be out there doing this in. So those boots are in the exhibit.
Only the Ewings.
Only the Ewings. That's right. Our dear deceased producer-director Leonard Katzman said only a Ewing would be chopping in those boots.
You mentioned the clapboard and the scripts. In the episodes you directed, how did that perspective for you change with the show?
That it was really a pretty easy thing to do, directing even Dallas first time out. And I was confident that I could do it because, oddly, along the way, some people come in that are not good at it, and you say, I could do a better job than that. I know I can. The company was so well tuned. So I got my chance, and I directed 3 episodes of Dallas, and was led to other directing jobs that I did in my career, and I really appreciated that. First time out.
What is it?
And I was confident that I could do it because,
the show's
oddly, along
international
the way, some people come in that
to this day
are not good at it. And
phenomenon.
I could do it. Well, we all want to know the answer to what makes Dallas so I got my hit that it was and why it's still so popular. And if we really knew the answer, we'd go out and make another one. Bates, I know it's in several European countries and Asia. And
international.
It's been a wonderful calling card for me. I've had a lot of friends. And we all want to know people around the world that just said, "Oh, you're that guy from Dallas." Hit that it was, and why it's still so popular. And if we really knew the answer, we'd go out and make another one. But it's something that's sort of unpretentious about it. It's people call it a soap opera, a primetime soap. I never appreciated that. I thought that was negative. But it's about life and as things unfold. And we also like to trick you a little bit. The writers were always very clever in keeping you wanting to know what was going to happen next. I mean, we as actors felt the same way. You say, "Did you get the new script, Steve? Wait until you see it." "Oh, I can hardly wait to see it." I was just like the audience. So it was very, very crafty writing, and it was not meant to deliver any messages. It was just meant to be enjoyed and have fun, and it was about a part of the nation that was growing and rapidly, and that a lot of people didn't know about. I think internationally, oddly, people used to think of Americans as the Cartwrights from Bonanza, and then when J.R. Ewing and the Ewings hit the scene, now everybody, you must be from Dallas. Oh, you know the Ewings, you know J.R. and everybody became like this Ewing family to the rest of the world. So.
And years later, tell me about your experience last year.
So we had a wonderful reunion. Patrick Duffy, Larry Hagman, myself, and Charlene Tilton were all invited to go to a music festival that was in southern France in a community called Marande. But first we had 2 days in Paris to raise money for a children's charity at an auction. And they had all of this security arranged for our group, and I was saying, "Well, we don't need all this security. This is way over the top. Please, we'll just get in the bus." And as it turned out, I was totally wrong. In front of the museum, we must have had 300 or 400 or 500 people that were paparazzi and fans all mixed up that wanted to be very up close and personal with all of us, and we had security guards like keeping them back, and I was going, this is not true. This series is almost 30 years old now, and here we are still doing this. So it goes on in countries around the world still. It's still being broadcast in the United States. I know it's in several European countries and Asia. And it's been a wonderful calling card for me. I've had a lot of friends and met a lot of people around the world that just said, "Oh, you're that guy from Dallas."